Welcome once again to your weekly update from the city of New Hope. The mayor, Kathi Hemken, is joining us once again. Welcome, Mayor. You've got the snowy look in your background today.
I do, and that's actually the golf course, and that's snow is there.
It's going to stay that way for a while now. The season is indeed over, but a lot of activity inside. We'll talk about the clubhouse activity in just a second. Let's get to some things happening around the city. The first is an annual report that is out. Give us some background about this report and why it's important for the city and residents.
Well, you can always go on the website and find this stuff. So our SMART goals are there, and so is our performance measurement report. And there's the economic development report that's now on the website. So if you're interested in those, go onto that website and go under those titles, and you'll be able to find the reports and read them. They're very exciting.
Very good. newhopemn.gov is the place to find that. We've talked a little bit in the past about the airport and some discussions going on around the airport. What is the latest on the airport discussions?
So this is Crystal Airport. And what they did is they formed a group with all the cities around the airport. But New Hope isn't exactly attached, but they're around to it. So we've got an ordinance that came down that said that the Crystal Airport had to be governed in a particular way. And so this board that's doing this, a member from each city, is working on an ordinance. And once they have that flushed out, they'll bring it to the public for public comment. And then after that, they'll approve that ordinance. And then it goes to the cities so that we have to comply with that. Mostly it's about the height of buildings by the airport, how high they can be, and how close to the airport they can be. So it really doesn't affect New Hope as much as the other cities that are bordering on it, but we are part of that commission.
All right, very good. Let's talk franchise fees, something we keep residents updated on. Again, where do these fees come from and why are they valuable for the city?
Well, they're kind of confusing. We haven't changed ours since 2016. And so what we did is we raised the franchise fee from $4 or from $3 to $4 a month. So we raised it $1, both in electric and gas. And what that money does is it pays for the disruption in the boulevards and the streets that the utility companies do when they lay the lines to deliver service to people. So you'll see that raise. That should take effect in March of 2023. And then that money goes to the utility companies and just flows right back to the city. We put half of it into the general fund and the other half goes into the street reconstruction fund, just so we can repair whatever they have done to the boulevards or the streets and getting their lines down.
All right. Curbside appeal program, that reimbursement program continues on. I understand still opportunity for people to get involved.
There is. So, we're refunding people 25% of the project up to $5,000. So it's really a nice program. They have to get their stuff in, though, to the city so we can approve that still in 2022. Okay. Don't know for sure if we're going to continue it in 2023, but if you're thinking of doing the project, you really should get busy and get that information into the city, at least to see if you're eligible for that money.
Let's hop ahead to scattered site housing. Update you on 3 properties this week. The first is at 3611 Louisiana. What is the latest with that property?
Well, we bought that. We were supposed to close last week, and the owner wanted to move it out a week. And so we're closing this week on that. So once that's done, we'll have a demolition team come in, remove anything that's hazardous, and then they'll tear the building down and we'll go out and get a builder.
Next property is on the corner of 42nd and Boone. A lot of activity happening there and some activity that wasn't expected, it sounds like.
Well, they tore down the house and they started to grade, and there were a bunch of underground foundation things that they didn't know were there. So they started to dig those out. They had to break them up by hand and then haul them all away. And that all took time. And therefore, they didn't get the hydro seed down because it snowed. So they had to put down seed and then straw over it. But the good news of all this is the contractor is not charging us extra money for these big pieces that they had to remove. So now that the surveyors have been in and they've surveyed it into 2 lots, we will now go out to builders, and get the plans and scopes from them before we start. So we should see something starting to build in the spring.
All right, we'll keep people up to date. Final update is on 53rd and Rhode Island. Again, another house that is in process.
This is a new builder for us and they're doing just fine. They think they'll be done by January, so then it'll go on the market as soon as it gets close to done. And if it's like all the rest of the houses, it'll sell quickly.
Yes, I can imagine. All right, business networking group, a couple updates for you as you look forward. One coming up rather quickly here this week in December, and then another one in January that sounds like some great fun. Preview those events for us.
So the one in December is on the 7th at 8:30 in the morning, and that's at New Hope City Hall. And the sponsor, the host, is going to be At Ease and Wellness, and she'll just talk a little bit about her business. And of course, there's lots of networking going on. And then the next one is January 4th, and that'll be at Frankie's at 3 o'clock. And that's just going to be a pure social, so that business owners can just talk to each other. If you are a business owner and you're coming, bring cards.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of business cards being passed around. People are trying to do business with the other small businesses in our town.
All right, quite a few updates to pass along from police and also Park and Rec. Let's begin with police and some updates of what they have been doing. One is the Pink Patch Project. Give us an update. We've talked about this a few times. How is that going?
Well, this is a national program, and it's to support the African American Women's Cancer Coalition. And so they're selling patches that look like a police patch, except the pink, and little pink ribbons that look like a little police badge. Again, pink, and they're $10, and all of this money just goes back to this coalition. A lot of times there's some of these groups, like the African American Women's Cancer Coalition, doesn't get as much funding as they need to get. And so this is just a project that all the police departments are doing.
Another project involved with badges is something with the Girl Scouts and the police. Tell us about this fun opportunity for the police to interject and work with some Girl Scouts.
You know, our police are really trying to do more community engagement. They're going everywhere they can. So they went to a badge ceremony, and I got to get these words right so I don't get this messed up. The Girl Scouts Respect Authority badge ceremony in Robbinsdale. So 2 of our police officers went to the ceremony and were part of that. Just more of the community engagement that we're doing.
December 16th, an important date to remember for a couple reasons in the city of New Hope. The first relates to police reserves. What is happening on that date?
So our police reserves are non-sworn officers. They do not carry a gun, but they help the police department in a lot of ways, directing traffic, just anything they can do to help that doesn't perceive carrying a gun. It's a volunteer position. They need to apply by the 16th of December. It's a good way to get to see how the police department works. And if you're thinking of being a police officer, this is a great entry into that field. So if you're interested, you've got till the 16th of December to apply. And the other thing that happens on the 16th of December are letters to Santa.
Right.
So there's a mailbox at City Hall. If you're a New Hope resident, you can just put your letter in there. They'll get it to Santa, and Santa will write back to you. Now, they tell me that if you've been naughty, you should probably explain a little bit in your letter.
It can be a long letter if necessary. Is that what you're saying?
It could, and you could just explain your case, but you naughty or nice, you're going to get a letter back from Santa.
Very nice. All right. Another event that happens around the holidays on an annual basis is the Toy Fest. Tell us about this great event and the family behind it.
Oh, this is just amazing. This has been going on for 16 years. There's a couple in New Hope, Mike and Allison Eisenberg, and they basically open up their house from like noon on Friday till like midnight on Saturday.
Right.
And they will feed you, and all you'd have to do is bring a toy or money. And there's just this open house for these 2 days. These people have got to be really tired. So this year, as of yesterday, they have collected 500 toys and about $4,000 in cash.
That is amazing. And one more note about Santa here in the police department. Santa apparently going to get quite the ride through not only the city of New Hope, but a few other cities coming up on December 10th. What is all of the excitement?
Oh, this is the Tri-City Santa Parade. And so the police cars and the fire trucks from Robbinsdale, Crystal, New Hope, all line up, and they have their lights flashing, and they have Santa hanging out of the top of the big wrap, whatever that MRAP thing is, that big thing. And they will go up and down the streets. They're leaving Broadway Village at 5 o'clock, and they should be going through New Hope. until about 6 o'clock. They don't stop anywhere. They just kind of drive by, and they drive by slow. So they'll go by most of the parks. You can see the map online if you're interested in where they would be, and you don't have to go to a park to watch them because they'll be coming down some streets. But look at that map. It's a free event, and it's just fun to watch, and it probably takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes to have them go by. Then after they leave New Hope at 6, they'll go into Crystal from 6 to 7, and then they'll go into Robbinsdale from 7 to 8.
Yeah, what a great idea. And again, city's website, newhopemn.gov, you can get a more close-up look at that map and find out where they're going to be near your home. To Public Works we go, a little update about the utility bill certification program. We're at a final number, it sounds like.
We are. If you remember, it started at 315,000. And what this is people that haven't paid their water bills or their fines that they've gotten. Well, they're going to assess their taxes. They've gone to Hennepin County to the tune of just short of 179,000. And so we will get all that money. It's a shame it has to go that way to get it, but that's what happened. So besides plowing all this snow and trying to keep our roads nice, they had a water main break.
Oh my.
And if you can just imagine at 3 degrees outside and the wind blowing and you're up to your knees in water, even though you've got waders on, this is not a pleasant job. No. So thank you so much to those guys who keep our water running.
Yep, they do a great job. All right, let's spend a few minutes in Park and Rec, talk about some of the fun things going on. Here's something for adults with the holiday season in mind. We've got an opportunity to make some ornaments.
Well, they have an adult holiday ornament class. I don't know where it's being held, and I don't know when it is. I think it's this week, but they can look in their In Motion, and it's in there because there's a section that says adults. They can look in there. Almost all of the stuff that we talk about is in that In Motion. So they tell me they've sold a couple of these winter take-home art kits. So again, if you're looking for something for the kids to do, you can go get one of these kits. I think that's $15. And a lot of times the stuff that's in the kit, what you really want is the directions on how to make it.
Right.
And you can go to Hobby Lobby and buy the other stuff if you've got more than one kid. You want to make more. So Grandma and Grandpa, if you've got the kids for a couple of days and don't know what to do with them over the holiday break, this is a perfect for that.
Great idea. One other item in Motion, there's a big skating event coming up, Disney on Ice, and that is something as well you can find out about in Motion.
You can. We do a lot of group sales, and so when you're doing that, you can get the tickets cheaper. So that's on the 10th of December, and if you're interested, you need to call real quick. I understand they've sold 72 tickets already, so you need to call the Park and Rec department or go online and order a ticket.
All right, let's jump ahead to warmer weather in spring for just a moment. Some great news for the city of New Hope with some grants that are coming in. How will these help the city?
Well, Hennepin County does these youth sports grants, and we apply for them all the time. So we're getting $25,000 to help with the replacement of the park equipment at Hidden Valley Park. And we're also getting $2,300 for the lighted field, some work they're doing there. So all that money just helps us do a better job at what we're doing and save some of the tax money.
All right, back to the cold weather we go and the warming houses. It sounds like the city is getting ready to staff those warming houses. Where are they and when does the staffing begin?
Well, they're all over at the parks. Wherever they've flooded a park, there's a warming house there. And they're also all going to open on the 26th of December. It seems kind of late to me, but I imagine with Christmas, it's hard to get the kids or anybody to staff those warming houses. So they'll open on the 26th, and they're pretty assured that the ice is going to be in there. And that's a lot of work, by the way, to get that ice. And those trucks are out there all the time spraying that. So it'll be nice ice by the 26th.
There we go. Yeah, the temperatures never seem to cooperate, but maybe now with this week, it's looking pretty good. Let's talk a little bit about youth basketball. There's a great co-op program that happens, and it sounds like they're needing some parents maybe to help out as well.
Well, they do. They solicit parents to be coaches and assistant coaches. So they tell me they have a full team of second grade boys. And so girls, boys, but they do need coaches and they do need people to help with this. So if your child is interested in this, again, go into the In Motion or go online at Park and Rec and put in co-op basketball, and you'll find all the information you need on that.
Some of the work in Park and Rec during the winter season is looking at plans for things that will happen in spring and summer. And it sounds like there's some activity going on right now for some planning of some updates at a few parks and also something to do with pickleball.
Well, the Meadow Lake, there's a tennis court up there, and I think they're going to change that to a full-time pickleball court.
Okay.
So the nets are a little lower. They do some different striping. We haven't decided to build brand new pickleball courts. It's kind of expensive, and we've got a lot of parks in the city, and we need to keep our parks up. We need to keep up what we have rather than to just build something new. So they're trying to change that into a full-time pickleball court. But they're also going and doing all the stuff they have to do in the other parks, getting ready for spring to come.
All right, that sounds good. Liberty Park and the lighted fields as well, getting a little attention right now. How about the ash trees? Where are we, Mayor, on the emerald ash borer and some of the work that the city has been doing related to those trees that have been infested?
Those darn things are just dying like crazy. So we're still in the process of removing them from the parks and the golf course and the boulevards. And what they're doing is putting a big orange dot on the trees that have to come down. So if you have a tree in the front, we don't take trees down out of your backyard, by the way, or your side yard. We only take them on our 15 feet easement. So if you've got a tree that you know is dead or you think is dead, call the city forester at City Hall and he'll come out and look at it. If in fact it needs to come down, he'll put an orange dot on it. We can't take them all down at once, and we've hired a service to do that. We're taking the littler ones down ourselves, but we can't take those big ones down because there's a lot of wires and just some danger with that. So if you see a tree that isn't marked and you think it should be, call us. If you see a tree that's got a big orange mark, just be patient. It will come down. And when it does, and if it's on your boulevard, you'll be able to pick out a replacement tree to put there.
All right, very good. Couple other notes from Park and Rec. We mentioned the golf course earlier and that snowy picture behind you, but inside things are hopping at the golf course. Who is using that building right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, this last weekend there was a birthday party and a holiday party, and last week there was the Lions had their annual party there. They had a gingerbread making event. Adults were making gingerbread houses.
Nice.
Except the roofs weren't staying on. They were sliding down the side. And I was lucky enough to be a judge. And I decided maybe I'd just take a bite out of one or two because the roofs were falling off anyway. So they're renting it a lot. They've decorated it really cute. There's a tree inside and there's little candy canes to light up the walkway. There's great parking and it's very inexpensive to rent. You can either bring in your own food, you can have it catered in, whatever you want, and it's reasonable, and you don't have to do the cleaning up afterwards.
There you go. And there you saw some of the pictures of the decorations inside. One quick note about outside. It sounds like they're doing some work around the first tee that might help golfers out next year.
Well, there was a fence, or there is a fence there, and it was leaning against the tree, and it didn't look like it was going to do so good. So they called in the crew and they set some poles in. They were thinking they were going to put the poles in, and of course, as soon as the cement cured, they would put up the wire fencing. It snowed. So the cement is curing, and they're probably not going to get that wire fencing up till spring. But they didn't want to take the old one down just in case something happened. And it got nice and people decided to play because what it does, it protects the first tee box from those golfers on the ninth fairway.
Exactly.
Might not hit it exactly where they want it to go.
That's right. That's a narrow fairway there, so it's easy to miss to the left.
It is, or the right.
Yes, we've always been there. We've all been there. And over to the ice arena we go. That is a very busy spot. What are some of the activities going on inside?
So this week you can only skate on Sunday because there's tournaments going on. The youth hockey is doing their tournament. Well, they had that last week. Their 12th annual classic tournament, and that went on. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. There's the skate with the Santa on the 16th, and that's a Friday night from 6:30 to 8. Cost is $5, and so Santa will be on the ice skating around, and it just might be a fun event.
Santa is everywhere. All right, a couple final notes to pass along as we bring you up to date on what's happening in New Hope. First is in human resources, just a position note that you wanted to pass along, and a note that the person that we all know in this position for many years is sticking around.
He is. So this is the superintendent of the golf course. And as we know, Mark has just been king of the golf course forever.
Mhm.
Well, he's still going to remain king. We're hiring a prince. So this is a person that is going to be taking care of the golf course. And Mark will go to what he's supposed to be doing, and that is managing the ice arena and the golf course. So what's happened, he's been managing the two, and he's been doing all the stuff with the golf course. Well, sooner or later, he's going to need a nap. And so we're finally hiring the superintendent of the golf course. So we didn't have two applicants in-house, so we went externally. I understand we have a few applicants already. So we'll find a good superintendent for that golf course. Certainly won't replace Mark, but it'll give Mark a little relief.
Very nice. All right, a couple final notes. Publication coming out soon from the City of New Hope. What is it called and when can we see it?
So the In Touch went to the printers and to the post office, and you should see it in your mailbox this week. If you remember, we had an In Motion, an In Touch, and one other publication, and one was just going to homeowners. Well, this In Touch goes to every single address. So
Okay.
people in apartments are getting this. Everyone's getting In Touch. We want everyone to have the same information consistently. So you should be seeing that. Don't throw it away. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Just like don't throw your In Motion away, because there's a lot of good stuff in there too.
Right, you can use it for months. The photo contest wrapping up, and it sounds like quite a few people gave their people choice, and you're just trying to tally those up.
Yep, about 100 people voted on the People's Choice, and so they will tally those up, and then they'll start looking at the photos and give the other photos their professional opinion, and we'll award the prizes in January.
Great. All right, let's talk about something that happened across 169 from the City of New Hope. You've been keeping an eye on it, as many others have. Tell us about that open spot of land now in Plymouth.
Four Seasons is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So the big scoop, or whatever you call those things, front end loaders, we're tearing that down. So it's pretty much gone now, and they'll just flatten out the land. I do not know I haven't seen plans. I do not know what they're planning to build there. But when I do see plans, I'll let you know.
All right, we'll keep people up to date. Final note, another date to remember, December 12th is the last date for the essays for the Mayor for a Day contest. Remind us again of who can participate here.
Well, the League of Minnesota puts on this contest for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. So there's no minimum or maximum amount of words. Just if I were mayor for a day, what would I do? Mm-hmm. And so they'll read them, and the winner will get $100. And they'll get the notoriety in the League of Minnesota Cities magazine. If they happen to be from New Hope, we'll invite them to a meeting, and they might even be able to hit the gavel and call the meeting to order.
Very fun.
So they always share the essays with the mayors of the cities, by the way. Okay. So we all get to see what our residents think I should be doing.
Very nice. What a great contest. And again, information on the city's website, newhopemn.gov. Just type in Mayor for a Day and you can find out more. And again, lots of information about all of the things we've talked about right there on that website. Mayor Hemken, thanks once again for your time. Appreciate the update, and stick with us. We've got a calendar of events of some things coming up in the city. Mayor, have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you then.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.